Shield presents the Unitedfanspodcast. If you didn't know, now you know. Boom plus!
Yo, big up yourself. It's the Royal Rumble of UFP
Mash up
2022.
TPS.
Good to be here. Arthur Bonakawa hanging out with the original business. What's going on? What's going on?
Wow, go on, my brother. You know what's up in the great words of my daughter, the sky. But you know what's up, my mood as well.
Yes.
I go by the name of the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, Thema Business, aka Sugar Ding Ding, aka your grandmother's favorite brother.
Austin 316, aka the Texas Rattlesnake via the DRC. Welcome to UFP. It's so good to be here.
So
Presented to
UFC.
you by Shield. See how what we did there? We shielded ourselves from a mistake, but I love that.
Ooh, shielded ourselves from
So
mistakes.
man, everyone's been talking about the World Cup, everybody. Qatar 2022. What tone has it set for the rest of the campaign, especially because it's the first time it's been held in the Middle East? But we've got to talk about the opening ceremony. So lackluster, Temba.
I see what you did. We open up with the opening ceremony.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have closed it off early. See what I
You know
did
what I
there?
mean? You
Yeah,
know what I
look,
mean?
I wasn't a fan, but let's not just focus on this particular opening ceremony. Let's look back in the history pages
All right.
of what some of the best hits and misses of the opening ceremony. I'll take you back to the year 2006. It's in Germany. Die Mannschaft, they are the
Yes.
hosts. It was
I've got that jersey for the next
You-
episode, by the way. I can't wait to show it off.
racism.
He wanted that so bad, but I beat him
Racism.
at it. What was special about the 2006 opening ceremony? I can't remember it as being over the top and very eye-catching. I doubt that.
You know, truth be told, it wasn't a memorable one, but it was a memorable World Cup. It set the tone. You mentioned the world tone for me. It
Yes.
was the sort of technology they had introduced in a particular World Cup. I mean, they had the mascot who had come in, who was a different sort of imagery that we've seen from previous tournaments. The ball at the same time was a new innovative move from world football makers. And for me, that turned out to be one of the most impressive World Cups ever set by the opening ceremony, the tone that is.
But the characteristics and the properties, I'm going to use those words, of a opening ceremony is always to demonstrate the culture of
the country.
of the host nation.
What did we do in
And the
2010?
bringing of together of
We
all
brought
the
R.
peoples.
Kelly.
Yeah, but look, we had Morgan Freeman. That's going to be our locker room chat. That's going to be a lot. Yeah, see, guys,
We
please
had R.
edit him
Kelly.
out, guys. It's too soon to bring on R. Kelly, conversations.
It's the sign
here.
of a victory. I even remember the song.
As I keep my Nigerian hat on, please, we do not want no trouble right now.
Oh God, please behave. Oh God, please behave.
But look, I don't think Qatar did any disservice to not showcase who the Qatari people are, and the neighboring nations and countries are going to be coming in to celebrate, the greatest sports to ever grace the sphere of humanity and humankind. So I don't think it was that bad. Of course, we expected more people in seats, but hey, it still worked. It still brought the people together. We've got a lot of games to go through in 2022.
I fell asleep.
I don't think he fell asleep.
No, I did fall asleep.
I mean,
I was tired. I saw the
unfortunately-
voice of God walking. I was like, "Oh, it's a movie." And then after that, I think they just lost me a little bit in the sentiment. I see what they were trying to do, but this is the World Cup, man. It's about football. I know it's about uniting people, but it's not a political statement at the same time. Leave the politics
political.
aside.
By the way, guys, these are not the views of UFP. Any political views are going to be mentioned on
speak
this
about Ukraine
podcast, guys.
last time.
I'm going to bring up the Ukraine and the Russia
No.
situation, guys. We have freedom of speech on the show, okay?
Yeah,
we are
man.
governed by the law.
Yeah, pa.
You see, these are the mpimpies of the pre-struggle days, all right? That made sure that this country cannot be free from the oppression of an apartheid system. Yo, this is going crazy.
Can I be free with the conclusion of the opening ceremony?
Okay.
18 men from best to worst.
Yes.
I'm going 2010 with our World Cup. I think that
Okay,
one. We had
obviously.
Shakira, we had that. We had
Yes.
R. Kelly, like I said.
Yes.
Man, we had the best of the best in South African culture at its best, really. And then I'm going to put the 2002 World Cup.
Okay.
You remember what that was? South Korea.
Yes.
That was a standout tournament, and they really showcased.
How old are
the
you?
Asian-
How old are you?
I
Because
was-
clearly I can't remember that. I was in grade 4 or something like that.
the
Jeez.
great words of
You were
Malia.
watching World Cups in the 2000s,
AJ,
bro.
nothing but a
What
number.
was this guy?
Thank you very much. I'm gonna put Qatar outside of my top 5. I'm sorry.
All right. Anyway, that's first half done and dusted. We're jumping straight into the locker room chat. We did mention at the top of the hour, bring me back to those days. You know where I'm going with this. But anyway, we're going to be chatting about Morgan Freeman and having a look at his big blooper in the opening ceremony of the World Cup. Look, it's a locker room chat next right here on UFP Boom Plus.
Whether it's on the sports field, the social scene, or staying active with the fam, we all need confidence to move our way. And the best confidence booster, knowing that when you break a sweat, your deodorant won't let you down. Shield's 72-hour non-stop sweat protection with motion-activated technology is the only deodorant that reacts directly to movement, so you stay fresher longer. So however you move with confidence. Shield, it won't let you down.
Hey.
Cute evil laugh. Let's talk about the good, bad, evil. They had the voice of God.
The good, bad, and evil that had the voice of God.
They had the voice of God. You see what I did there?
Yes.
I'm just breaking it down chapter by chapter. This particular section is my personal favorite. We're talking locker room time, and we delve into many different talking points. And my talking point, I want to free your mind. Let's talk Morgan Freeman.
Yes.
I'm here all
Bang,
week.
bang.
So
On the
you,
money
you
there.
mentioned, you mentioned a interesting part that he was actually part of the USA World Cup bid, and he made a bit of a booby in terms of his speech.
Yes.
Yeah.
He missed a page in his speech in 2010. So the United States of America were gunning for the 2022 World Cup bid. But obviously, we all know that Qatar bought it. Let's move right along from there. Anyway, Morgan Freeman.
These
then
are not the
Morgan
views
Freeman,
of Unitedfanspodcast.
Morgan Freeman then happened to be a part of the opening ceremony in Qatar. And the football universe and fraternity was on some, no, brother, man. Why are you trying to redeem yourself from the 2010 failed speech because you had a page that you had missed, which had a disconnect with the entire speech that you were going to make, suggesting that America were going to be the host of the 2022 World Cup.
Teacher.
Why are you part of the opening ceremony of Qatar and doing what you're doing? Because now it gives the impression that firstly you were given money to do this because you're a celebrity.
Of course he got
and
paid for it.
Yes,
Well,
but
he's not
then
doing it out the goodness of his heart. He's
many-
Morgan Freeman. He needs to pay
you
for his
mentioned
pension
R.
fund.
Kelly, you mentioned Shakira. You know, some of the big time headline events.
Kaz got paid.
You know,
Kaz.
but then why are people saying that Morgan Freeman is now receiving bribe money? Do you want to know why?
Why?
Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because he's broke.
These are not the views of the United Fanspodcast. No, but on a serious note, I don't understand how you're gonna ask
It's-
a performing artist to
it's sense-
perform without getting paid for his performance.
Another moment. So in the opening ceremony, right, the performance that was on stage, you know, showing us a beautiful Qatar culture and people, there happens to be a person of disability that was on the stage, right? And do you remember that Morgan...
Qatarian YouTuber?
Yes, a Qatarian YouTuber, and now Morgan Freeman had to stretch down and
Yeah.
almost like just that picture that was so iconic because it made it look like the able-bodied person's the only one that can help the disabled-bodied person.
Okay.
Yet you have failure written all over there because you still remember the 2010 speech. I don't
That's
know
how
what.
you saw it?
That's exactly how I saw it.
Well,
And everyone's
wait,
talking about that on
wait,
social
wait.
media.
The little bit that I saw before I fell asleep. I saw
was it
Morgan
that boring
Freeman.
that you fell
No, I was
asleep?
just tired, man. Like, Morgan Freeman leans down with the glove, and no,
Yes.
he was not pulling a black coffee. Not a black coffee. In fact, there's another story behind that. There's he was involved in a car accident about 2008, 2020. He had a surgery on his left hand, and that's a pressure glove. So
Yeah.
it circulates and regulates his blood. I'm smart like that. And as a reason he was wearing that. I don't know if it was a particular right time with the world watching. And
Exactly.
You got your old man glove out.
There we go.
So many questions, but maybe
There we
it was
go.
all planned. Who knows? But yeah, Morgan Freeman and the thing. For me, it looked as if it was there's a great painting. I think it was done by Michelangelo, where the fingers, the meeting of the fingers.
Artiste.
That's what I thought it was.
Oh, God, touching
yes,
man.
yes, that's what it was.
Okay, at least-
I interpreted that way. I don't know what.
okay.
For my child soldier, so.
All right, second half coming up, right?
Yeah.
What are we doing in second half?
Before we go to second half, I
Yeah.
have to say the most bizarre speech of the year goes to FIFA president Gianni Infantino.
Here we go. Yo, Mister, let's not be controversial. Drop
No,
the bomb.
no,
Drop
no.
the bomb. Drop the bomb.
Verbatim, the man opened up his mind and his mouth and he said, I am gay. I am disabled.
Sorry, I'm not laughing, but
I am African. Like African is bad. I am
you know,
Islam.
like why put us at number 3? Like, what the hell?
He went on a very bizarre rant about what he is, but ultimately what he's not.
Gianni
Gianni Infantino,
Hey,
check yourself before you wreck yourself.
hey, look, let's jump into the shower because second half is about to be heated up, all right? 1-1 Brazil versus England. You're obviously tuned onto the UFP podcast, the Shield presented content.
Gotta make sure we get paid.
You know what I mean? See you guys
That's the
in the
locker
bits.
room, yeah.
Welcome back to the Khalifa International
We
Stadium.
need makeup, please.
Oh my
Otherwise,
God.
we're not doing this.
Oh my
Mine's-
God.
Told you I'm using.
Oh my
Using-
God.
it's
I
like new
just
cream.
got a whiff of like African man power there. Oh my God. Jesus, man.
I don't even know what that
Anyway,
means. By the
that's
way,
a
where were you?
foul. That's a foul from the man in the English jersey. Jeez, bruh. Anyway, so the scores are leveled 1-1. Brazil versus England.
England, yeah.
We're jumping into second half right here on the UFP podcast. We're still having a review of the football year in 2022, and the biggest talking point
great
for
year.
me has to be Banyana winning their maiden women's AFCON title. You know, they've been to 6 finals, and eventually final number 7, they beat Morocco, and they are queens of Africa. Well done to Desiree Ellis and her Chargers.
Look, 7. They finally touched football heaven. Thank you very much.
That just sounds like he's been rehearsing for like a Shield ad. See what I'm doing there? See what I'm doing
This
there?
episode is presented to you by Shield. Look, I'm here all week. Now, on a more serious note, like the Desiree Ellis sort of growth and the regeneration of South African women football for me is outstanding, because here's a woman who used to captain Bafana herself. She's been in the trenches. She knows what it means to travel the length and breadth of the African continent as a competitor, as an athlete. Now she turns her head to what? Coaching, leading a group of young women onto what? Glory. Morocco, host nation. They
Yeah.
beat them in Morocco.
Yes.
That's no mean feat. You know at the highest level, it's hard to win anything away from home.
Yes, I thought
Particularly-
you were gonna bring me towards Africa. You know how hard it is in Africa. Well, I know how tough it is in the Congo,
Yes.
and now it is to
No.
win a title.
You're from Yanni van Riebeck Street in Boksburg. Stop selling people dreams.
Oh man,
Anyway,
I
but
love that.
yeah, it's an amazing, really, story from rags to riches, almost in a way. But question is, have they been backed for doing amazing work? Are they riches?
Yes,
from those rags
yes,
now?
they are riches. SAFA President Danny O'Don whipped out close to 10 million rand for their,
Not enough.
heroics.
Pump up the cheese.
Yes, bump up the cheese. I know it's not enough, but it's a great start for women's football. Staying on that note, making the comparison between first-time coach winner, but stride for it as a former player is also the Senegalese team in Aliou Cisse. The Senegalese team, the first group or generation of Senegalese national team players since we're on this World Cup conversation was Aliou Cisse, Liverpool legend with a white hair.
Alhaji Diouf.
Yes, Diouf as
Boy
well.
Diouf.
Yes, Pretty Boy Diouf was also part of that team. So it's good to see Senegal through Sadio Mane winning it. Aliou Cisse was a former player, now he won it as a coach. Well done for the Lions of Teranga. And they don't have Sadio Mane at the Qatar World Cup, but never mind that. It's a growth for African football, and it also puts the spotlight again on North African Western football.
Yeah.
That's where our powers are in African football. It's north of Africa and the west of the continent.
Yeah, that's true. And like for me, Ali Cisse becoming the 13th different coach in AFCON history to lift up the AFCON trophy. For me, another story of a man who knows what it feels like to be in the trenches. Quite similar to the rise of Samuel Eto'o. Samuel Eto'o Fidis, the Cameroonian and now Cameroonian football president.
Yes.
Finally got them.
He says that he thinks it's going to be Cameroon and Morocco in the Qatar.
That's Samuel Eto'o. That's why
Final.
That's why
Jeez,
he
man.
was the man he was. He
Oh,
believed
man.
so much. A lovely speech he had in the dressing room of the Cameroonian team, and after a loss that was, and
Yes.
he said he looked straight them in the eye and he said, "Boys, I've been here before, and I will die for Cameroon. I will make sure I will die on the line.
Yes.
to make sure that Cameroon football reaches the levels it has to reach." And he does believe. And guess what? Leadership starts at the head.
Ooh, leadership starts at the head, which naturally brings us into our next conversation.
Yep.
Just before the World Cup, Gareth Southgate announces his squad for
Gareth
Qatar.
Southgate.
And then he mentions something that's important that we can link back to South Africa. And he says a unity amongst coaches in the domestic league helps to build a national team, right?
Yeah.
So Hugo Brosh this year has been making a lot of noise about how the
Yes.
PSL coaches
Yeah.
are not working together, right? To get players that will form a optimal performing Bafana national team, right? So the problem is not that we don't have talent. The problem is not that we don't have the right type of players, but there isn't unity, as I mentioned, amongst the South African PSL clubs. That's where we're gonna get it right. And might I just say something that's close to your heart? You commentate, on the World of Champions, Super Sport.
Well, they're not paying you for that edit. That one, huh?
But anyway, for the MDC, having the younger players from the MDC also being part of the national team setup might just change our fortunes.
Yeah. Look, I saw very quickly some of the youngsters who have come through the reserve league, the likes of Antonio van Veek, Mervyn Borgi, really make a name for themselves. And this is over the space of a couple of months. That's the next future of South African football. Let's place our trust in these youngsters. As we wrap it up from there, I place my trust in you, sir.
Yes, the African power is still upon my mouth. I can feel it. The scent is strong. It's like,
Is it too early to hit him with a boom blast?
Boom, boom, boom. Anyway, that's the end of second half, right?
Yes,
Extra
it is.
time. It's still 1-1. Still 1-1. Brazil, England. See you guys in a moment.
This is the final session, the final destination. My brother from another mother, respect. So what we doing, Wester? That was stylish,
Brother from
by the way.
another nation.
Okay.
Oh, regeneration and nation.
Nation.
Oh, we don't know what
Okay.
demonstration.
Thank you for your demonstration.
Anyway, good.
Talk about demonstration. We saw a demonstration of je ne sais quoi.
World class excellence.
Vim style. I'm talking about the man who channeled his inner, I ain't a killer, but don't push me. Karim Benzema.
Yes.
With the two
Looking
glasses.
fresh.
I hope
Yes.
you can.
I see what you did
Homage.
there. Nice.
Homage.
Homage. Your French is becoming good, and the accent. Now we need to get you a French girlfriend.
Oui.
Yeah, oui, monsieur.
Yeah.
All right, so he obviously pulled off a Tupac look.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see how I just Tupac it like that? Clearly, I'm not doing
you're
it
not
well.
doing it well.
But anyway, he was wearing
Tupac.
the black suit,
Yeah, man.
white shirt. I don't know what you call that type of shirt. I loved how he looked.
He had a
I loved
collar.
how he looked.
That's
and,
all I know.
And you're right. He's channeling his inner gangster, like
Yeah.
via France. You
And
know,
look,
like
that man is gangster. That man used to date Rihanna at one point in time.
Yes,
That man
yes.
can go GQ cover
know what I
shoot.
mean?
He can go score a hat trick in the Champions
and then
League.
Chris Brown's reject.
And then goes, no, here we go again. Those are not the views of United Fans Podcast.
Yeah, well, he had to be there. But look, hey, kudos to the guy.
Yeah.
Very stylish. And probably just a hint and a glimpse of what we're going to see past the quarterfinals, past the semifinals of the Qatar World Cup. Absolute class.
I heard the ladies as well have been stealing the headlines in Qatar.
Hey, look. If you're going to be receiving 1 million or 1 million plus visitors from across the world in Qatar for the World
good,
Cup,
son.
imagine the Qatar Airways flight attendants. How beautiful they look.
Forget about it, sweetheart.
Oh,
Forget
my
about it,
goodness.
sweetheart.
And
That's
you know,
a splat.
and what someone said, there aren't any pretty women in Qatar.
Joe, look, I saw a lot
What
of tweets and social
bomber
media
rating is that, man?
clapback. There was a lot of social media
What?
clapback. They
No.
were saying, where is the fine women in the crowds? There were no fine women. We're accustomed to Brazil. You know what I mean?
No,
You know about Brazil.
Or England.
We're accustomed. No,
You
England.
know,
The Harry
the
Potter.
Spice Girls.
Nah. All I really want
Hey,
is
but the
I really,
Spice
really
Girls were
want.
hot. The
Nah.
Spice Girls were hot. Anyway,
Which one?
Spicy spice.
Spicy, sir.
Yeah, as we're moving right along.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting to see how, fashion plays an important role in sports, especially because it champions, the spirit of excellence,
He's doing his Macbeth thing. Yeah, you see, I see even our producer shaking his head. I got an interesting story for you before we wrap this up as well.
laughing alone,
Migrant
yeah.
workers helping out in training sessions.
Oh, do you see?
Of
Do you
the-
see what he's doing? Do you see what he's doing?
Bro.
And then he's going to tell me that I'm the one who's not allowed to be controversial.
But
What
it's
do you
the
want to say
truth.
about the many migrant
It's
workers
the
that have
truth.
died in Qatar, Timber? That have
these
died.
ones are very much alive. So alive that they're kicking balls with the Netherlands Dutch side.
We're getting fired for this, guys. I'm so
van Gaal-
sorry.
Facts. Louis van Gaal called into some of the migrant workers in and around the camp to help them train. England has done the same as well, and other teams they've called in migrant workers to help them.
It's interesting that Denmark is not part of that group for obvious reasons.
why?
Yeah, because they at training apparently they had jerseys and shirts that were protesting against anti-human rights.
They will never be
so
part of
human
that.
rights violations.
They will never be part of
and
that
FIFA's
thing.
always spoken against that. So it's interesting you're speaking about the migrants.
Yeah.
But hey guys, on a serious note, we are with the people of Ukraine. We're with the people of Qatar. One love, humanity the whole way, and that's how we end off the 2022 sports UFP
yes.
episode.
Finally got it right.
You know what I mean? Presented to you by she.
I might say in the great words of Miss Campbell, Hamhandala.
Oh, I thought Miss who? Miss
Campbell.
who? Miss who?
Campbell.
Excuse Miss Campbell.
Naomi Campbell.
Naomi Campbell.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying Amandala from okay.
Shield presents the United Fans podcast. If you didn't know, now you know. Boom plus!